Okay, Assalamu alaikum, distinguished participants. Good evening, or good morning, or good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Yeah, I can see participants joining from different places. So I greet you with Assalamu alaikum, all, and welcome to this insightful webinar to be presented by Dr. Ghulam Mustafa Abro. Entitled A Scholar's Tale, The Unforgettable Chapters of My PhD and Beyond. As you have seen on the advert, this webinar is organized by the IEEE UTP Student Branch, and I, Muhammad Sani Yahya, is the chair of the UTP Student Branch. And I wish to welcome all of you to this very important webinar. And I hope all of us will benefit from the experience of Dr. Ghulam Mustafa Abro. For your information, Dr. Ghulam Mustafa Abro was a PhD, he's a PhD holder from University Technology Petronas, UTP, and currently a postdoctoral fellow and faculty member, Interdisciplinary Research Center for Aviation and Space Exploration at King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So in the next 30 minutes or so, he's going to share with us from his experience, and I hope you will sit back and enjoy the webinar and ask questions via the chat box where necessary, and also you can also speak to Dr. Ghulam directly to ask your questions. Welcome, Dr. Ghulam. Welcome to this important webinar.
Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so let me share my screen first. Yeah. So my screen is visible to all of you?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, so we will start now. Okay. First of all, I'm really thankful to IEEE and then Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, University Technology Petronas. It's like a family reunion for me. Whenever I speak or whenever I interact with people from UTP, it's a kind of a family feeling. So today I come up with a topic that is a scholar's tale. Whenever I had a bad time, whenever I had a good time, I consider it as a part of my, PhD tale, PhD story. And I used to say that one day maybe, I'll be useful to share my experience to people who are or who will be pursuing PhD or masters in any foreign university, maybe in University Technology Petronas as well. So the time is arrived. I'm also excited to meet the old, friends and the UTP, currently enrolled students. So this is a simple hello from my side, a slide that shares about my specs, my specifications. I have more than 50 research articles, alhamdulillah, today. Sorry. And the citations are like 300 plus. I got my PhD degree in electrical and electronic engineering in the year 2023, like in July. And I have been placed in a distinction category. We have four categories over there. Category one is a distinction category, which means there are no corrections. The candidate is just directed to print the thesis and submit the hardbound. So, Alhamdulillah, I got this distinction category. I'm not sure how many people get it, but for me, it was something that is, a big happy news for me. And someone told me, I'm not sure. Actually, it's not. I'm not sure that the distinction category is really common or not. But someone told me that in electrical and electronic engineering department, I was one who got it after 6 years. Means until 6 years, no one got it. But recently, I have seen that people are striving a lot. There are many PhD students who are getting distinction category in UTP. After me, to the best of my knowledge, I have interacted one student. She just graduated from UTP. She also got distinction category. So it's not something that is not achievable. It's achievable, no doubt. But yeah, at the same time, it's not everyone's cup of tea. You have to do a very hard, it's a huge titanic task to tackle, so you have to work hard for that. In the meanwhile, I have been blazed with the Erasmus research mobility program, where I got a chance to explore one of my objectives in one of the top universities of the world, that is Telecom Sud Paris. It was a college, but it comes under IP Paris, which is top 50 institutions of in engineering category in QS ranking. And during that mobility program, I also managed to publish three publications. Two were one was journal, one was conference, and one was book chapter, which is recently published. So I got my if you ask my background, I'm from electronic domain. I have done my bachelor's and master's from Pakistani universities, and I remained over there as a gold medalist in bachelor's and in master's as well. Master's, we have a mixed mode. We have to study 8 courses and then thesis. And currently, my research area that has been shifted from master's to onwards, and still I'm carrying it, is mentioned over here, but not limited to it. I'm a kind of a person who always try to contribute in interdisciplinary research. So, but to be specific, someone is going to define me. My key areas are unmanned autonomous systems, computer vision and control, swarm robotics. I love it, and multi-agent systems. There's a little bit difference between swarm robotics and multi-agent system, autonomous navigation and mapping, and then of course the topic that is more tilted towards my PhD is fault tolerant or flight tolerant control systems and trajectory tracking of under actuated systems or drones. So this is the picture that I want to show you. This is 13th of December 2023 when I joined KFUPM, King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals, specifically in Interdisciplinary Research Center for Aviation and Space Exploration. My, one of the responsibilities is to uplift the research by doing some hardware validation as well as doing some numerical simulations as well. Now, this is me at present. Like before my PhD, who was Ghulam Mustafa, bro? Like no one knows about that version of me. So let me share you. I came to UTP on 10th January with 4 local publications that were only in local journals of Pakistan. In two of them, I was co-author. They were, and I was not the main author. And I was not aware of SCI, ESCI, and Scopus, and not at all about any, indexing. And at that time, my citations was also very low. It was 8. So at that moment, perception was there that okay, PhD is not everyone's cup of tea. It's going to be difficult. At the same point, I had no friends at that time, but yeah, a few of the friends who know me, I have a very flexible and social nature. I quickly mingle with people. Over here, I already got 10 to 15 people who are in my circle, and we go together. Yeah, so I was of kind of a nature that I'm flexible and social. I make friends very easy. So, but at that time when I came initially, it was totally new for me because before Malaysia, I just went to UK for a short span of time. So the audience, the people around me was quite different. So I had to adjust myself. And then first impression of my supervisor was really good. If you can say that I have been blessed with a supervisor who actually supported me. On the very first day, he called me, "Hey, Gulam, have you done your medical and everything?" So it actually, boosted my confidence that, okay, it's a kind of, situation where You realize that, okay, well, my supervisor really care about me. About the lab mates where I had been seated, it was 22 to 11. And in that lab, only 4 to 5 people used to sit. One was Al Tahir, he was doing postdoctorate at that time. Very fine guy, very sophisticated personality, but at the same time, he really helped me a lot. And he taught me that how to behave in the lab. It's always good to learn from others. So many of the things I rectified by looking at him, and it's okay if until you are not adopting something, you always adapt. So it's good to adapt, not adopt. So I adapt something from him, and then I had a very good friend from India. And trust me, from 2020 until now, I had very good Indian friend circle. And on the top of the list, I have a very good friend, Nirbhay Mathur, who is my senior. And he was at that time working as a research scientist in the same lab, and guided me very well. And he was a kind of a personality who always motivated me whenever I had been witnessing, a bad time, or things were delaying, the simulation results were not up to the mark. So he was like I can say he was a superman of my life, my PhD story. Okay, so after that, of course, when you land on in UTP or in any university, you have to do some administrative stuff. You have to do registration, and then the day arrives when you get a meeting with your supervisor. So let me share you a quick, motivation behind it. My motivation was my master's degree, because I was already a faculty member in one of the private universities in Pakistan. And when I started my master's, I was tilted towards control domain, control systems let me just generalize this term. I was tilted towards robotics. So at that moment, I was kind of a opinion that, okay, whenever I'll start my PhD, I'll start in the same domain. I got PhD offer from mechanical and same department, but then it was not suitable for me. Why? Why? Because my bachelor's and master's were in electronics. So I couldn't, I requested that supervisor, sir, I cannot, avail this thing. And then he linked me to electrical. So I really want to thank Dr. Masri Bahram from Mechanical, who actually forwarded my CV at that time. If he would not have forwarded my CV, I would not have done PhD from UTP. Apart from that, I got a communication in IT department as well. But then the area was AI, which I was not trying to, opt it. Why? Because I'm a control system guy. I'm bit towards hardware validation and doing things that are under the control systems. So I, with due respect, I actually refuse that thing, that sir, I cannot continue this work because it's more towards health analytics and something. So I choose the topic that was my passion. In masters, I wanted to work on drones, but my supervisor told me that drone dynamics is quite different. So first you work on any ground vehicle. So I did work on hovercraft, air cushion vehicle that actually hovers on ice, earth, and any complex surface. So my work was to stabilize it, and then I eh, published 2 papers on it, and it was a kind of a motivation that, okay, if I can tackle ground vehicle, then I can tackle underwater vehicle and aerial vehicle as well. And of course, aerial vehicle was my passion, so I opted drones in a way. Now, what happened exactly? I was sitting with my supervisor. My supervisor is none other but Dr. Vijant Sagyana Srivardham for initial 2 years. And then later, he switched his role with Dr. Saiful, and Dr. Saiful became my supervisor. Both were very kind. And if I say that I have done something good in my past, that Allah Almighty has blessed me such kind of a supervisors. How they are so much kind, and like why I praise them a lot, acknowledge them a lot, I'll tell you later on. But At that moment, when Dr. Vijant was sitting in front of me, Dr. Vijant forwarded me one or two papers on, I think, image processing. Not image processing, it was on machine learning and AI. I said, sir, I'm not comfortable in this. Then he said that, okay, you work on, dengue. I said, sir, dengue, again, I'm not comfortable with it. Then Dr. Vijant asked me that, okay, what you want to do? Then I took out my master's hardbound from a bag and I hand over to my supervisor. I said, "Sir, I want to pursue the control domain for my PhD." Then he said, "Okay, let me read this thesis and then I'll get back to you." After 7 days, Dr. Vijant gave me the signal. Okay, go on, you do the work. So this is how I actually did the things. So my idea to share this story is that you need a proper communication with your supervisor, what you are interested in. It's not like that I just bluntly say no to my supervisor, but yeah, I just say that I'm comfortable on this thing. The topic that you are assigning me, I need more time on it, and it happens. Your research is actually your passion, what you want to do. So you study in a very good way if the topic is interesting for you. If not, then you have to do a hard work. You have to, I have seen people appearing for RPD like after 1 year, and even if they appear before, they get serious remarks on their RPD. So I think it's better to plan your topic before you travel, and if not, then plan just after landing. Plan it in a way that it is interesting to you and uh, more than your supervisor about that topic, and you can say that, okay sir, I can defend it in RPD. So it's all about communication. You sit with your supervisor, ask him, tell him the, maybe you can make one presentation. In my case, I never made a presentation, but you can make a presentation and share that, sir, these are my plus points, these are my minus points. These plus points enable me to choose this topic. And if you assign me another topic, I may be encountered with so many delays. And as an international student, I will not be preferring this particular path. So this is the way to communicate for the topic. Now the main issue at UTP was not only UTP but every university in Malaysia, I guess, that once you are there, you have a short stipend, 1600 RM, and it's trust me, it's my personal opinion. 1600 RM are not less, but what we students are looking at, we are looking at the big scholarships. We are looking for the Fulbright, we are looking for CSE, China, we are looking for every other scholarship. So in front of them, we see this money is very less. I agree. But today I'm going to share you my experience. I was having 1600 RM for 1 year. Then I heard about the 3000 RM quota for one publication, and it will be provided by CGS. So I decided that, Gulam, it's not be easy. So why not we write grants for to meet this scarcity? And then I asked my supervisor to share me the grant openings, because in UTP every funding is coming to your supervisor, and the call for open, like the call for funding is actually coming or communicated to your supervisor through email. So he has to share you. So I asked him, sir, I'm open to write number of grants. So I wrote in my entire 3 years, I wrote like 12 grants. From there, only two were successful. So it's kind of a so-so situation. It's not like a few grants we couldn't submit because of some issues, some documentation, but we couldn't submit like FRGS and PRGS. We couldn't submit because we were lack of some documents that were in support of that topic. Anyways, the idea is that if your stipend is low and you want to earn more, you want to have more money, then you just go for the grants. You write your grants, and of course, as a PhD scholar, it will give you an experience. So once I got the grant after 1 year, I had been promoted to 2,500. Last year, I was having 3,900 RM as my stipend in UTP. So I started with 1,600, and I never said to my supervisor. I remember Dr. Saiful got the grant, and Dr. Saiful told me that, Gulam, how much you want to have a raise in your, in your stipend. I say, sir, it belongs to you, and I was just supporting your staff. I was supporting you, so it belongs to you. Whatever you will give, I'll take. And he was so generous that he increased his stipend up to 2,500, and later on in my third year he increased up to 3,900. But it was not like a generous thing. I had given him the maximum output. So due to publications, due to involving in so many activities, he felt this thing that I'm eligible for this kind of a stipend. So you can see this is the orientation. I was so excited. I attended the orientation ceremony in 2020. Until March, I had been involved in so many activities. I went to visits. I was like GA for robotics and control course, organizing competition, participating in presentation. So this one is my picture when I got a second prize in one of the competitions. With the community, I was really active in Pakistani community, but there were some problems in it that I'll discuss also. But yeah, overall it was really good. And then I also supported my department a lot by arranging so many activities. This is my supervisor. I gave him this ajrak, which is our traditional kind of a cloth that we give out of respect to our elders or people who we love actually. So these were the activities which were going on until March 2020, and then COVID thing happened, and it was kind of a new thing for me, for like thousands of the people. But the one thing that was again in favor of me was that my two objectives was were based on simulation. So over here, I'll suggest that people who can manage majority of their objectives on numerical simulations and minority of their objectives on hardware validation, then it's really good, because in simulation you can achieve it from anywhere. You don't need any apparatus, but of course it's not the case for everyone. But yeah, if you can do this thing, then it will be really helpful for you. I also thought in the same way. I thought that, okay, Gulam, why not? I add only two objectives related to my numerical simulations that I can play around, and then one objective in for hardware validation. But yeah, my RPD date was 24th April 2020. So I amended my RPD document accordingly by looking at the situation of COVID. I predicted at that time that, okay, March already happened, lockdown happened. So I was not sure that how much time it will get to recover. So Gulam, it's better that you plan one initial 2 years on numerical simulation. So I planned it accordingly. Okay, labs were closed, and there was no office space for me, and it was a shared room provided to us by UTP. The best part at that time, I realized that where the thousands of the universities were sending their international students to their home countries, at the same time UTP was supporting by giving us the vouchers of 15 ringgit for food, arranging everything inside the campus. So that was kind of a thing that I can say that UTP is my alma mater. It was like behaving like a mother institution. So thanks to them, and they have supported a lot. And this is the reason that I'm today in one of the top institutions, joined as a postdoc. So this was the story about initial days. I was really active in all of the domains. Like, I never only focus on my PhD. I focus on each and every activity to make myself prominent. I was the kind of a person who thought, like, when I was coming, I was coming with the thought that, okay, people must know that someone has arrived. and someone has a lot of energy in it to collaborate, to organize the events, to do research, and to he's kind of passionate about the things. So I got this opinion in my mind that PhD does not only belongs to papers, but its overall outcome is a candidate itself. So I behave like this way, that not only in research, but in all activities. I interacted people around. I interacted with undergraduate, master's student, other department. So I tried my level best to engage with everyone. Okay. So overview of my PhD is that 24th April, as I said, that my PhD is on drones. I quickly, managed to do the literature review, and I appeared for my RPD in merely 4 months. I was the first one who appeared virtually for PhD. I was the first PhD student who appeared for RPD virtually from his room. So I got it cleared in 4 months. And after that, I was like working on simulation as well, but then how to engage in other domains. So at that time, I was like willing to, as I said, that I was not only arrived in UTP to do my PhD. I was there to do other stuffs as well. So during COVID, as a researcher, I thought that why not I just contribute in COVID thing, because I'm a kind of a person who can turn any physical system into a mathematical system. So I visualized COVID-19, and then I studied about it. I modeled their equations into differential, partial differential equations, and tried to play around in MATLAB. And then I got a grant from IEEE. It was like 2000 US dollar that I got. And at that year, only three institutions from entire region 10, where you have Malaysia, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and other countries are there. From Malaysia, only three institutions got the success, and one was University Technology Patnas, and I was the one who got the amount. So it was kind of a huge success for me. I published three papers, which are now on United, I think, World Health Organization. They indexed those papers on their website. So I tried to keep myself busy, not only in PhD but in other activities. Apart from my PhD activity, I was busy in collaborating with other people, uh, spending my time in a good company of friends, local and international. And whenever I sit with them, I try to ask them the for positive steps. Positive steps is to volunteer for an event, or maybe writing a paper together, or maybe learning few things from them. Someone is good in answers, someone is good in MATLAB, and someone is good in AI. So it's better to know something of everything, So two out of three objectives of my PhD was simulation that I mentioned to you. I survived in the lockdown. So it shows that you must plan your objectives accordingly. Anything can happen, And it's better that initially 1 year you put an objective on which you don't experiment the things. So you are conventional with your objectives, at least one of the objective that is in the start. Later on, once you achieve something, then you will have that window where you can do experiments. But again, I'll say that do not spend more time on experiments. You do those things on which you are sure, 101% sure. Okay, so I published 8 journal papers, 3 conferences, and one book chapter. And over here, when I published my one first SCI, it was in Q3. People nearby me, they say, I mean, every person has different opinion. People who were surrounded to me, they saw that I have published one Q3, and it was open access. Of course, it has money involved, but my entire publications, initially, that money also coming from Australia, one of the collaborator I introduced. So it was good for me. When I went for RPD, my already one paper got published. So people were never satisfied. People, I met one friend, he said, only 50 references in your paper. I said, yes. He says, review paper is not like this. I say, okay, review paper is not like this. Then why they accepted? Then when I opened that paper, then he agreed. Oh, it's very sophisticated. You have lots of tables in it, and okay, you have critically analyzed each and every graph, and you have narrowed down the things. Okay, I was wrong. So people, if you tell them your story to people during your PhD, they will laugh. They will say, okay, what you are doing. Some people laugh at me. They are now in a good place. May Allah bless them. They people say that you are here to do PhD or you are here to do the events. So I was focused on my thing. What I like, I was doing that thing. So your story must not be compromised. So you must be focused on the thing that what you gonna do. Many of them have a government job in Pakistan, and they were opinion that we will complete our PhD and go back and teach over there. For me, I resigned already, and I thought that okay, my boards are burnt already, so I have to do what I have to do here, and from here I have to go ahead or maybe become a part of this institution in any way. So I was doing all those activities in context of those things. Well, people say that I was passionate. Yes, I'm passionate. Still, I'm passionate. Still, I have like I put on some weight. Otherwise, I'm really active, and I'm trying to reduce this nowadays so that I can, bring the same energy. Right now, if you ask me, 80% of the energy is same, but 20% there is a decay in my energy. But yeah, soon it will be achieved once I start regular practicing the things. Discipline is more most important thing. I actively participate in all of the clubs. I remained only the chair for IEEE UTP student branch. Other clubs like AIS Pakistan chapter, I designed the logo. I did everything in the community. PGSC, I was also the part when, but people did not like me. Why? Because I talk about reforms. In PGSC, I was of opinion that a student must do research with his supervisor, and he can only claim the award of at that time they used to give the award for Q1 Q2. So I said that they only claim the award in which their supervisor is involved. Otherwise they cannot claim that thing. And many of the people, even the people from Pakistan, they used to claim that thing. They used to claim that thing, and then they said, no, Gulam, you are wrong. I said, why wrong? You are being paid from UTP because from the quota of your supervisor. This quota is assigned to your supervisor, under whom you are pursuing a master's or PhD. How come you can claim the award on the paper where your supervisor is not involved? So I was like a kind of a this behavior. AIS Pakistan chapter also, I was kind of a person who brought up the politicians from Pakistan virtually at that time. And people were saying, I brought the models, the media industry people, and people were saying, oh, you are Muslim and you are doing these things. And then, trust me, it was something that was really awkward to me. If I'm doing any bad thing, just sit with me, guide me, and join my team, join me, consider me as a team member. So I faced a lot of difficulties in those things again, but then I was focused. I was focused and I was deed in a way that okay, you can call me stubborn. What I decided, I did that thing. Let me tell you one story of my research publication over here. In the second year, one of my publication is an Asian Journal of Control. It's a very famous journal. At that time, it was Q1. Now it's Q2. And I submitted that paper in February. I knew that thing that it will take a lot of time, 1 year. I got acceptance after 1 year. So at that time, my extension was due, not immediately, but yeah, after some months I had the extension to satisfy. So at that time I decided okay, what to do. Then I collaborated with few people, I introduced with my supervisor. I never ever bypass my supervisor or co-supervisor. So I asked them, sir, this paper gonna take some time and it might get major rejections. So it's I'm so on this thing. I'm not confident. So how about if I submit a paper in this journal? It's a quick and it will give acceptance quickly. My supervisor was really amazed, co-supervisor. He said, Gulam, how come you know these things that you will get rejection, you will get acceptance? It depends on the reviewer. I said, sir, I'm sure about my work. And I always mark the worst case for me. So in this way I had another way to follow. So he was like, said, okay Gulam, you if you say so, you just apply. So I submitted one paper quickly, that was accepted, I got extension. The other paper that I submitted, Nation Journal of Control, February I submitted, June I got major, July I got minor, then November it got accepted, and again January or February, I guess, it was online. 1 year for one paper. And that was something in my field, it's kind of a recognized journal, and it really values a lot. So I participated in activities. I am sharing you these things. Why? Because I was very focused. And many of the people did not like me. Why? Because I talk about reforms. But again, I was sure that I have to do this thing. So result of my activities was I waived off 200 RM processing fees for Pakistani students. Many of them does not know this thing, but when you apply for UTP, you have to pay 250 or 200 RM. I sit with Mr. Farhan from registry and I said, sir, people from Pakistan are really, loving UTP because of me, because of other students who are role model for them, who are pursuing good, and they have a good image, so they are pursuing them to apply, but they don't have initially these 250 RMs. So how about if we host open houses in each university, and people who registered, they can show us that they have attended this thing, and then they can waive off the fees. And Alhamdulillah, Mr. Farhan, he is not now in registry. He became some protocol officer for Prime Minister of Malaysia. But he agreed on this thing. He managed that thing, and we got so many Pakistani people applying in UTP, and I got this 200 RM waived off. Many of friends. Right now, I'm just looking at the presentation. I don't know how many people have joined this session, but yeah, there are many people who got the admission without paying processing fees. I got at the end, I got two offers in my PhD. When I completed it, I got my offer of research scientist. When I landed in Pakistan, I got research scientist offer letter from Karam under my supervisor, and second was KFUPM, which I opted for some reasons. So now the issues that I just summarized. COVID-19 was a big issue, but then somehow I managed it by redesigning my objectives in a way that majority were based on simulations. Then the stipend issues were there, so I managed to write so many grants. Actually, if you ask me, I just wrote three grants, but then every grant funding has some theme. So I just molded my what we say, the entire proposal accordingly. For example, I give you an example. Drone can be used for the surveillance of gas pipelines. Drones can also be used for surveilling or spraying the pesticides on crops. So you can mold it. If any funding is preferring agriculture theme a lot, you just mold it. If someone is preferring the gas sector, you just put it over there. So I put the same for objective for YUTP and for FRGS. FRGS I got rejection, but YUTP I got it. And Alhamdulillah, I got my raise in my stipend, and everything was like gradually solved. RPD issues were there. RPD issues were what, like I was not clear with my drafting skills. So at that time, I really want to acknowledge Dr. Sayyid Saad Azhar, who actually told me to he was my examiner, by the way. And then Dr. Fanizu was a chair, I remember. And there was another person, Dr. Mark Owens from Mechanical. So these three people guided me so well because they were all somehow related to the topic. So I just recovered RPD issues. I appeared in RPD, then I got a minor changes in it, for which Dr. Saad spent a bit more time virtually to make it look like good. So research objectives, yeah, of course, that was the thing that I faced for a problem in my RPD. Now, publications in open access journal is really, difficult, and it has a huge fees. So I guess for that I had a strong. I told you that I had a strong relations with so many people. IEEE plays a very vital role. When you go in IEEE events, you make friends. And those friends are not only at your level. Some of them are associate professors. Some of them are like assistant professors or lecturers in different university, and they have funding. And if they are, you are meeting them in a conference, which means that they are from your domain. So you can ask them that, why don't we collaborate, and you get us the APC charges from for this paper. And yeah, I have seen a lot of people that they have done like this. So now other thing, anything. Okay, so another thing is relation with supervisor. For me, I have admitted this thing within a couple of hours that, okay, whatever PhD result I'll get because of my supervisors. So with supervisors, I was very ethical, and if there is any conflict, there were so many conflicts, mostly with my mentor, Dr. Saiful. But yeah, I never behave like a bad boy, or I say, okay, no, I will not do this. No, I took them as a father, personality. And whenever there was any conflict, I considered it as a conflict between a son and a father. So I resolved it accordingly, and I just present myself to them, sir. This is what I am, and this is what I can do. And then later they just grab my hand and guide me. Okay, this is the way, Gulam. You have to do like this. I one thing that I really admit is, like, I'm really uh, kind of a quick like a bun, quick like a bunny. So my supervisor just asked me, Dr. Saiful, that, Gulam, be, passion, exercise some patience in every work. But I was not, this was the one thing that I really worked on during my PhD. And but yeah, so it was kind of a,
We can't hear you, Dr. Gula.
Yeah, I think we lost him, his voice, his audio.
Gulam, you are not audible right now. We are unable to listen you.
Dr. Gulam, I think you are not audible, please.
for how many minutes I was offline, like
Like
muted.
5 minutes, 3 minutes to 4 minutes, I guess.
Okay, no problem. I think someone muted me because I never, you know, I was okay. Never mind. Now I'm audible.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was discussing about the relation of a supervisor. So I was like very ethical to them. There was thousands of the conflicts happened before and between, but for them, I resolved in a very good way. I said, "Sir, okay, this is what I am. At least I show them the display of my attempts. For example, Dr. Saiful asked me to go and fly the drone and take out the results to validate the software results. Every time I go over there, I share the video to them. Sir, these are the my trials. These are the results. So every time they see me under the scorching sun, and I'm doing the work because all of my experiments were outdoor. So they were looking at this thing. So this is what I did, and last year was hectic because it was a hardware validation, and though I was good in hardware validation, but then there were some specifications that I have to meet. So for that, I had to give my more than best. So that was something that I reconsidered, and it took me a lot. Apart from that, there was issues with community was like very huge. Many people they criticize you, and it's really common. If you are being criticized by someone, it means you are going at right direction. So if you are going in right direction, don't bother them. People will say, okay, Gulam is this. Gulam publishes in open access. Gulam publishes in Q3. Even then, he is on the website. Gulam publishes in Q4 or Q4. I don't have, but yeah, Gulam publishes with other collaborators. He's on the website. So people will talk a lot. People will if you give the steering of your life to other people, you will face accidents. So it's better to control the steering by yourself, and you decide that what you have to do. That's it. Even some people went to my supervisor, and I think this session is under recording, so I think it's better that I don't share those things. But yeah, there is a lot of grudges in me, but I always smile. I say, okay, no problem, no problem. It's I have helped a lot of people, and I consider that I'm a resource. The help is from Allah Almighty. I'm nothing. So when I need the help, they refused. They refused with so many reasons. But anyways, it's life. It happens. We always expect good things from Allah Almighty, not from humans. But there was community issues as well. People in our community, there are few people who are very hasty in making perception and making the one perception about you, and they do not listen your version. Once they listen the version of another guy, and then they start, okay, Gulam is this, Gulam is criminal, Gulam is this, Gulam is this, but no one bothers you what you are trying to say. I have the steering of my life in my hands, so I'll drive it in my way. So I suggest you also behave like this way, and the result is in front of you. The PhD journey, I drove by myself. You see, I got a collaboration with so many people. I went to France. I went to UK in 2018, and on London Heathrow Airport when I was returning, I was not imagining that I'll go back and I will have the chance to, witness the weather of Europe. At that time, UK was a part of Europe. After that, they got a Brexit. So I was not thinking this thing, but see, after doing so many events, I got this opportunity to go and do my research objective over there. I took all of my friends together. You can see over here, Rahul Kumar, Dr. Ramani is my mentor, Dr. Narendrajeet, Mavia from Electrical. Many people know him. Dr. Nirbe, I already said that he is Superman of my life. So I always connect people, So in this way, your research profile is actually, boost up. You got a booster shot, And then when I joined the Karam, any event, like any delegate from India or there's another university in Trinango. They came. Any delegate is coming. I was on my toes to present them about the research facility. This university, this delegate is from Indonesia. They come with our center, ITI center, Dr. Mukhtar, and Dr. Saiful is also there. Then I took them to all the things, introducing the same thing. And these are few pictures of France and the French, lovely French people whom I met during my research mobility program. And this is Dr. Ismail Bezet from Turkey. He's still in contact. There was one grant in between TÜBİTAK and Malaysia. I wrote that grant, but unfortunately we couldn't win. But this is another part of the story. But yeah, you get the relations like this. This is one of the most beautiful picture I have. Now I have put on some more weight, but yeah, this thing, this is one of the pictures that keep with me for so many years, that I'll show with my upcoming generations that okay, I have done this thing, and I have many stories to share. Okay, the main part for which you all are witnessing, I appeared for my RCS on 28th November 2022. Duration was 2 years, 10 months, and 18 days. 2 hours and 15 minutes was the duration for my RCS. Now, what was the experience? Experience was good. It was like, one thing that I suggest, and I'm suggesting those things to all people, that your thesis must be written in a way that you know, not your examiner, not your supervisor, not anyone else. You know that on this page, this question can be asked. So what you are supposed to do, you keep your thesis with yourself. Every page you write with the red pen that, okay, maybe examiner asked this question, ask this question, ask this question. So let me tell you one example. In final Viva, okay, that will come in Viva slide where I will share the experience. But yeah, this should be the practice. RCS, I never faced any difficulty. But in Viva, there were some questions that were like, I was kind of I took my time to answer those questions. And it's really good if someone asks you questions, you think for a while and then speak, rather than you speak and then justify. So it's better that you first listen the question and then you can just answer that thing. So I was pretty fast. You can see 2 years, 10 months, and 18 days RCS. Now this is in front of you. Appeared in Viva on 1st June 2023. Senate was on 6th July 2023. So between the duration between the Senate and Viva was 35 days, but the RCS and Viva 6 months 4 days. 6 months 4 days, which means that I completed my PhD. I got GOT. But if I would be 6 days more, like if there were 6 days more delay, I had to lose my GOT title. So the main delay comes in your Viva when your thesis goes out. So it's better to appear for RCS as soon as possible. As soon as possible, you apply for RCS. So it's better. Now experience sharing is, I told you that, and it went very, more, half of my RCS presentation, 1 hour and 45 minutes duration. One thing that, I told you in my RCS presentation, that whenever thesis is in front of you, you take a red pen, you hold a cup of coffee, and then you go page by page. You must know that from this page, I will be facing this kind of a music, this kind of a question, so I'll be better prepared for this question. And you write it in a good way over there. So there was one page arrives in front of me in literature review, where, not in literature review, in methodology. So the examiner asked me that this reference belongs to a conference, and you said that your methodology is based on this. So I was very prepared about that thing because that was flagship conference of AIAA, which is American Institute of Aerospace and Aeronautics. So it's a flagship conference every year. They hold it in US. So I went to that conference paper on Google Scholar, and I saw the citations of that conference paper. Sorry, the citations were 250 of that conference paper, and the latest citations were coming from IEEE transitions on automatic control. And I would put that entire work under one tab. When the examiner asked me that thing, I just reflected that thing in front of him. Sir, this conference paper is the fundamental thing that actually gives birth to this problem. So he was really happy. My examiner was from Unit 10. Yeah, Unit 10. Professor Haji Nasir Taib. He has done PhD from University of Sheffield University of UK in 1997. I know this thing. Why? Because you have to work on your examiners as well. And then he has a pretty much good, track record. Obviously, he has more experience than me in controls, and his, mainly he's a pure control guy. So you have to read some of the papers also. I suggest before you go for Viva, like download few of them and try to see that majority, because domain is big, control systems is big. In control systems, on which part he has worked on, you will you will have an idea after reading his latest papers, which are aligned with your topic, so that you can prepare yourself accordingly. Now the final thing that was really good for me is I was prepared that my PhD, I clear it maximum in category 2, maximum minor. But then I got a news that it's a distinction category, and my professor, the external, he mentioned these words in Viva, that Gulam, I haven't seen such kind of a thesis, and it's really written really well. And if you trying to do this work, then let us know to collaborate. These were so many, huge words for me. And then Dr. Rabin was the chair, and he announced that, Gulam, you not only cleared the Viva, but you cleared it in a distinction category. So I was really happy for that. At last, my hard work paid off. And during this red font, 6 months, 4 days, I was in very much stress. I put on weight. I eat a lot when I'm in stress. But somehow now I overcome that thing. But these 6 months and 4 days, I was not in a good position. I was like waiting for the comments, and trust me, comments will come on the day of Viva. Your supervisor will not know, your co-supervisor will not know. He will be aware during Viva, maybe few minutes before. And these comments are actually kept in secrecy for until your Viva is done. Maybe few minutes before your Viva, they gonna share this thing. So this is the experience of Viva. So now some of the questions you people provided on. So now officially the presentation is over. Now I'm tackling the questions that have been asked using form. So I quickly answer those questions, and then we welcome our audience to ask questions to me. So first question is, please share fully funded PhD opportunity for 40 plus with and without research papers. First of all, for me, age is merely a number. Okay, 40 or 30 people, you can find people who have done PhD more than this age. Now, without research paper is a problem. Age is not a problem. Without research paper is a problem. Because without research paper at this age, you will have a tough time to study things. And then maybe like if you are having any social issue, or maybe any health issue, then it would be really problematic for you to achieve your PhD degree. So I suggest that it's better. People are doing PhD from the university where there is very flexible, requirement. They don't, ask you to publish more. They ask you, okay, well, you related to your work, just publish one paper. Or I suggest you go for a PhD that is in industry. So in the industrial PhD, they will not ask you to publish, so it's better. Australia and then Germany, I have heard that there are a lot of institutions who are offering industrial PhD. Okay, so how to keep continuing in writing and reading, how we keep motivated. Okay, it's very simple. People follow many characters on Instagram. People follow many things on Facebook. I follow my scholars on Google Scholar. So if you are in the domain, for example, for me, when I was doing literature review, I saw that few authors are doing the same work as I am doing, so I mark them, I follow them. Whenever they publish any work, I got a mail that, okay, you got a mail. So I study their work, and their work is updated and it covers the literature review already. So how to keep continue in writing and reading, this is the way. For 1 year, initially until my RPD done, I had a habit of reading in evening. In evening time, I grab a cup of coffee and then I read the paper, one paper, 1 day only. But in the morning, I try to read the paper, but evening time specifically, I dedicated for reading the paper. And okay, let me rephrase this thing. In morning, I read the paper superficially. The papers that are related to me, I just take them out and preserve it for my evening. In evening, I take a cup of coffee and study that one paper, 1 day. And from that thing, you know, I figure out the literature review, the problem, and everything. Yeah, maybe if you are not that much sharp, you need to increase that thing. Three paper in a day means 30 days, 90 papers. 90 papers are enough for RPD, brother. Three papers in a day in evening. Maybe you drink a coffee, or maybe a bigger cup. It's fine. How do you manage your time to work in parallel on multiple tasks during PhD? This was my passion, bro. I always try to be prominent in the circle of UTP. I try to make new friends. I try to, introduce myself in different activities. And how to manage, I told you that I was really focused. If you ask my few friends, they will tell you that I we used to go for hiking in the morning. We come after hiking almost about to die, but then I take rest. In the evening we again meet on the holidays, and then when I come back to home, it's almost 2 a.m. But then the work dedicated to that day, that particular day, has to be complete on that day. So I complete that work and then sleep. So that was a discipline in my life that I managed. And another thing is how to manage, right? So this was the thing, that complete your work on that particular day. And even I appeared for RCS, my Viva. I used to go on Saturday, Sundays as well. So it will sound like that I'm a geek, or I'm a workaholic or something. But let me ask you one thing. You are now in UTP. What is the most important thing for you while you are in UTP? You're PhD, right? So you're not breaking the bricks. You're not doing any hard job. You just go at your workplace. Try to give you the time. In 5 hours, I think 2 hours or merely 1 hour will be effective. So try to give that time. Try to give that time. It's like we Muslims. If you sit in mosque 5 hours, you're going for one prayer, okay? One prayer maybe take few minutes, but if you sit more, you will have more blessings. You will try to maintain the respect and honor of a mosque. Maybe you recite some dua. Maybe you recite few verses, right? So you will earn more blessings. Same goes with your workplace. Even on Saturday, Sunday, if you are going for 1 hour, 2 hour, it's fine. So it's kind of activity that if you do, it's just like, let me tell you in another way, like exercise. If you spend 30 minutes, it's good. If you spend more time, again good. But if you spend more and more time, you will get fatigue. So I think manage an average time frame for this purpose, so that you can get a maximum. And daily, for a person who has to achieve something, Saturday, Sunday is not for you, bro. You have to give your time. Okay. Uh, 24 hours, you will be in a position to think that your PhD, how to clear your PhD. This is the strong determination that you have to keep with yourself. Okay, how much time did it take to write thesis? Okay, before I started my thesis, I went to France, and in France, I had been surrounded with so many activities. Of course, I have to visit the Seine River. I have to explore Eiffel Tower. I have to explore several things. So I wrote only 2 chapters in 4 months. Three chapters, sorry, 3 chapters in 4 months. When I came back in August, September, September. Yeah, the results and the conclusion chapter, I wrote it in 3 months. So if I would not be in Paris, I'll be completing it in 5 months only. 1 month, and for one chapter, because it's not like only writing, it's writing plus reviewing what you are writing. And then one chapter complete, then 2 chapter. Once you complete it, then you go from the beginning to see that whether it's synchronized or not. So it takes time. So 5 months for me. And how to write it, that is another story. Maybe like in upcoming sessions, I'll tell you that how to synchronize. Easy way is, once you write, you print it out, take a red pen and see, and place an objective on your board, or screen, and see whatever in chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5 you are writing, that revolves around that those objectives. You cannot deviate from those objectives. Okay. Share the best way to expect the unexpected hurdles and overcome them. Okay, share the best way. Best way is patience, bro. Patience and good circle of friends. I got very good friends. I got Nirbhay, I got Farhan, I got Tanveer, I got Satar. I got so many friends. I got a Pearl. I got how many? Huh? I got very good friend from Ipo Jaya. So yeah, good friends are those to whom I don't suggest you share all the problems with them. Just spend time with them to just feel good. Now, how to expect the unexpected? When anything happens, don't react. It's really hard to react, but yeah, at that time, just think how to resolve it. In the world, every problem is resolvable. It only takes time. So take your time, see the things. For example, unexpected hurdle, I just want to tell you. My supervisor, Dr. Saiful, got a grant, YUTP. We went to KFC. No, KFC, no, McDonald's. Yeah, we went to McDonald's. We had a good lunch over there. Then Dr. Saiful was very happy. And then Dr. Saiful offered me a coffee also. He literally said, Gulam, let's have a coffee. Let's celebrate. We both were happy. Then he went his house. I went to my house. In the morning, Dr. Vijayant called me and he said, Gulam, did you hear? I said, what, sir? He said, Dr. Saiful got a brain stroke. So that was something unexpected hurdle, unexpected thing. And above all, I was about to shift on stipend from 1600 to 2500. So at that time, it was very shocking news for me. And then I said, okay, what to do? So at that time, the immediate thought came in my mind is to go with Nirbhay to meet him in the hospital. When I meet him, he was left side was completely paralyzed, and he was on the bed, and he just slightly inclined, and the very first words he said, "Gulam, did you got your stipend?" very first words. I said, sir, you take rest. Later on, we will discuss this thing once you feel better. And Allah give him sehat in merely, I think, 3 to 4 months. Alhamdulillah, he started driving back, become very smart, and yeah, within 4 months, he got back to the his workplace, and that is the reason that he supported me a lot in upcoming days as well. And during that short time, I tried to figure out with my another mentor, Dr. Vijant, and he shifted me to another grant to earn more stipend. So I think it takes some time. So don't react suddenly and don't stress out. Of course, without money, you cannot survive. But yeah, you have always good friends around them. So you have friends to support you in your difficult times. So be choosy in identifying friends as well. I have so many friends for which I decided to keep them in my heart, but they decided to keep in here, keep in here like a snake. So it happens, and you just be prepared for all those things. Okay, how to identify a research problem? For me, I continued my master's work. Now, if you ask how to research identify the research problem, review papers are the best thing to identify the problem, and then you make a strategy from one paper to another paper. You highlight some key problems that are repeatedly coming in front of you, and then there is a special way of identifying the research problem. But at this moment, I can only answer that a review paper is main thing, and then if you are a kind of a person who is reading technical papers, then you must be sharp enough to identify the graphs and the results, because no one, even I will not say that my research is bad in my technical paper. I'll try to prove it novel. So you cannot find anything in technical paper as much as you can find in a review paper. Okay, how to find PhD without MS thesis? It's quite difficult, bro. Nowadays, PhD, every university, every good QS ranking university is actually looking for a candidate who has master's by thesis or some research background. So if you don't have master's thesis, you just publish some papers with your students maybe, or with your friends maybe, but in same field. It's not like you publish in power electronics and you switch to embedded system, you switch to control and then drones. No, you keep a proportion. I also publish in embedded systems, but you keep proportion that okay, 80% of my research is in drones, 20% I can contribute to other areas. So yeah, it's fine. But for you, you are pursuing PhD, that is without MS thesis. So you must be choosy in contributing. You have 3 to 4 papers enough, but in same field. So how to make our profile strong for abroad opportunities, built up international connections with faculty. Okay, strong. Every relation is strong when you have some activities to do. For example, if you talk about friend, you meet your friend, your relation becomes stronger day by day. Same goes with the collaborator. When you show him some activities, for example, asking him to deliver a talk here, it all always start with a single email, and then you ask him, so okay, sir, I'm willing to give this training to your university, and then you ask him, okay, sir, I have this research work I want to contribute. Even though today, what is my practice? Whenever there's a special issue, call for paper, MDPI, now it's banned, but over here it's all right. We can publish in Saudi. But if they open any call, they email us. They email us that this is the call. My practice is I have a certain email ready. What I do, I just email them that I have this abstract working on, and it will be ready in maybe 1 or 2 months. Are you willing to contribute and provide me APC free charges? So this is the way to start. And then once he will come in contact, like I met the similar guy from Egypt. No, not Egypt, Morocco. So we are still in contact. We published, I think, 3 papers, and fourth paper is under review in IEEE Access. So this is how you make contacts, and then For me, IEEE plays a very vital role. I used to go in every conference, I meet people, I meet a different circle of people, and they all are in the same field. So it's a matter of just discussing with them. So one of my friends, she is in Italy now, not Italy, Spain. I texted her yesterday that okay, this is the work I need to talk to you. She said that okay, and today is like a exam over there, so after exam she will discuss with me. So it's a kind of a way that you have to search out why UTP has banned MDPI publishers. Okay, even it has few Q1 journals and with good impact factor and reputation. Okay, I don't know why MDPI or Hendavi or Frontier is banned, but my personal experience is I got rejection of my 6 papers from MDPI, to be honest. And there are, truly speaking, there are some journals that have a very high reputation. They reject the papers also. But now the only the impact that the impression that people perceive is that they publish very fast and they have huge fees, so maybe they are earning. So IEEE access also do the same. They IEEE access provide you reply within 1 month, and they also ask you money. So the same impression. Now it depends on the reviewers. I review for MDPI, I review for IEEE access as well. Now I don't know what is the criteria that you put one journal on this. This is I don't I'm not saying that UTP has done this thing in a good way or a bad way, or Malaysia has done this thing in a good way or bad way. But you have to adjust yourself with the environment. So if it's banned, it's banned, so you cannot do anything. You have to rectify, you have to identify any other journal for your publication. What are the key aspects for that foreigner researchers teachers looks in a candidate for hiring? Okay, there are 3 different regions. One is Asia, another is America, Canada, and another is the Europe. So different people different see the thing. So Asia, if you are applying for Asian universities, they will look on your research. You have some heavy good impact factor journals in your field, they'll be happy to take you. If you are willing to apply in America or Canada, they are happy to see you something related to what we say, that you are product oriented, you are good in terms of producing thing that is market oriented. And if you go for Europe, then Europe, you are also like you, they will see this thing, and then they will see that okay, how much you are good in resolving the the social problems. I mean, America, Canada, and these European countries, they actually see that how you align your research with sustainable development goals of UN. They are I think 16 or 17. So in some of the interviews, they will ask you, okay, which publication you think is more important to you, and you will say, okay, this publication is important. Why? Because I published in Asian Journal of Control. It took me 1 year. No, they actually ask you to see how it is aligned with sustainable development goals. Okay, so I got a rejection from several universities because of this particular question, and then I sit with Dr. Abdurrahman Gilal from Pakistan. Now he's in US. So he corrected me in few of the questions that I faced, and I was answering it in a wrong way. So and then above all these countries, European, America, and Canada and Australia, they're looking for you to publish at least one flagship conference. So this is my experience that people were selected for postdoc and faculty position because they had a paper in a flagship conference. Okay. Okay. So what was your motivation, Dr. Abdo, to visit France from Malaysia and then Malaysia to Saudi? Okay. For France, I just went for a research mobility. Motivation was to visit new place, collaborate with French people, and built my connection over there. Unfortunately, they had no place for postdoc, so yeah, it was fine. But at least I published one Q1 and one conference and one book chapter with Pathik Gulati, who is MS student. Then Malaysia to Saudi. Okay, I got this offer of Saudi Arabia, and there was a motivation of postdoc, which I will cover later on in second last question. So, just to say you that it was nice offer, but now the for the motivation in detail, I just take it in a second last question. What are the career opportunity available for postgraduate student? Career opportunities are two. Either you go for postdoc or academic positions, or you join in the industry in R&D wing. Okay, these are the two things. Is it necessary to publish in IEEE journals? Whether well, I personally think that IEEE has a huge reputation in terms of transaction journals. Even the people from civil engineering, they also publish in transaction journals of IEEE. So it has good impact factor, and it's good. It's not a liability that you publish in IEEE, but yeah, it's good to publish in it. What are the steps to get a good offers for postdoc? Okay, just after your RCS, start applying, and not only in universities. Try to hunt on LinkedIn, and then specific countries, what we say, sponsorship or funding website. For example, France have funding website CNRS. UK has ESRC, and then I think US has National Science Foundation. And then be active on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your Instagram, bro. And on Instagram, you put good images, good pictures, label. You utilize LinkedIn in the same way. Put your all research over there. Highlight yourself, even the little activity you are doing. Put it over there. Make it live. Make it interesting. Like, and if you are studying any article of a researcher, do follow him on LinkedIn quickly. Your LinkedIn should be open every time on with your tab. Okay, so, role of supervision, how can it affect the student, and what are the best ways to relate with a superior super? Okay, I'm here to share my story. I'm not in a kind of a person who actually discuss the bad aspects of a thing, but just to mention you that I'm Pakistani. I'm from a village side, and my supervisor is from Malaysia. And of course, when there are two different people from different countries, different background, there is a higher chance of conflict. So now it depends, and the only tool that you have is education. The only tool that you have is your brain, a sensible brain. So with that thing, you just try to resolve that conflict. You just share the things. One thing I just mentioned here, I just related. One student left supervisor because he is not compatible with him. For example, I'm giving an example. He says that okay, the supervisor gives me a lot of work and disturb me. I'm not comfortable with it. Okay, so if you're not comfortable, just tell him. Sit with him. Say him, sir, I'm a 9 to 5 guy, sir. Please. It's possible. He will accept it, but there is a lot of chances that he will also fire back. He will also say whenever you will say on Friday, sir, my work. He will say I'm a 9 to 5 guy. So better prepare for this thing. I never said these words to my supervisor. I am proud to say that even if my supervisor messaged me on 3 a.m. sharp, I reply to him, sir. If I'm not feeling well, I'm say, sir, with humble veneration, if you say, sir, may I do it tomorrow, sir, because I was not feeling well. So everything you can convey with good words, good language. So this is the thing. And come on, if someone says that it's my sleeping time, bro, you are in Malaysia because of your PhD. So if you want to give preference to your sleep, then you give preference to your sleep. Don't give preference to your PhD. I know it's not good. It's not good. I accept this thing, but what to do? What you have? Do you have any other shot to play? No. This is the last resort, bro. Opportunity of a part-time postdoctoral fellow. Oh, but trust me, I kept this question, but there's no part-time experience of mine, so I cannot answer this thing. Okay. How to write research paper effectively with less time in master's tenure of 2 years. Okay, for master's people, first of all, I salute every master's student of UTP who publishes Q1, Q2. Why? Because of tenure. Because of tenure, they are really smart. They are really, putting their best effort and they are publishing it. For me, I personally think from RPD, you publish a review paper, number one. So this is a quick way to publish. Of course, you have a good literature review, so you can start publishing. Then in RPD, you have a preliminary results, right? Convert them in a short conference. So two papers already done. Then your three objectives, or mostly masters have two objectives. So two objectives, you work rest of your master's period and publish one Q1. That's it. Finish. Okay, so fun part is in front of you. I went to Penang. I got IEEE second, runner-up award. I supervised the students for drone projects. I connected with Sani Muhammad, from like connected with my friend Muhammad from Bangladesh. Okay, I kept a good car. I wrote it Abdo Swag. I enjoyed driving it on Cameron. I went to France, Seine River. I went to Louvre Museum in France. I went to Chinese temple. These are my good friends of time. I don't have Satar Bhai here, but yeah, they all are here. In this group, we had a weekly gathering and then farewell gathering for everyone. So this is farewell of mine, all in the community of my country. Then I have a three Indian friends. Khalil is in Germany, I guess. Okay, Nirbe is in Infosys, and this is the car that I rented in France. So this is Ferrari, and in front of Eiffel Tower. So it was a fun part. I got many friends. This is Labu Kopang. Tanvir was there. We shared room together. And then she is Jaya, one of my best friends I ever met. And I like the masala tea. This is the IEEE group. These all are activities. Najib Bhai is here. Satar Bhai is here. So these are the Indian and Bangladeshi fellows. I have a huge. I have earned not only the PhD. I have earned a good friend of a circle of good friends. So this is France again, Eiffel Tower. Then some Irish friends and friends from Norway. I gave the same ajrak to Mary Mon to support my transition, like the settling of my stay and everything. This one is Notre Dame Sacre Gore. Yeah, this one is Sacre Gore, and yeah, this was a bubble party in France in the institution itself in the housing. So these were the night pictures of the bubble party. You can see. I tried to. I'm desi, but in the pictures, I tried to reflect myself as if I was born in France. So yeah, this one was the French supervisor. This picture is actually on they actually celebrate a music festival, national music festival in France. And this one is Cafe de Flora. Cafe de Flora is very ancient, I guess, very old cafe where Pascal used to take coffee, Pascal and other philosophers. This one is I'm forgetting the name. I'm already older. This one is it has the name. I'm forgetting the place, but this thing is like you can see the France from in an aerial way. This was my teachers, Madam Sonita and this John Bordy with Tavison. He was a PhD scholar, so he presented one presentation related to his PhD, and I was really amazed to see his work, and I appreciated him for that. So this is a group photo over there. So now we open another thing, the perks of postdoc. But for that, I just quickly describe this thing. See, postdoc, why I prefer postdoc? Many of my friends actually got an offer for lecturer in Utah and in other universities. Why I prefer postdoc? Why? Because see, if you want to serve immediately, uh, if you immediately serve on faculty position, I personally think that you will compromise your research profile. Why? Because then you will have a student who will be doing research under you, not you. So that is something that is not suitable for for me. And apart from that, I think maybe uh, uh, another reason for this thing is when you pursue faculty position, then you are overburdenized with the course. There are a lot of courses you have to do, then quizzes, then test. So postdoc is one thing that actually give you a free time to do research. Maybe 1 year is enough. If 2 year, then it's good. In 2 years, you hit for every domain. You do research, you edit the spatial issues, you collab with different people to arrange conferences. Maybe possible you go for one patent or copyright. So 2 years in a different country, I prefer different country. Why? It's not because I got it. I surveyed that many good places they ask you to join as a faculty if you have at least one postdoc and not from parent university. So they ask you and they see this thing. So it's better that you switch from your parent university to any other position, to any other university, and over there you serve at least one, and then you can easily get the faculty position. Interview experiences, I already mentioned to you. There are some questions that you think you are answering in a good way, but it's not like that. For example, if someone asks you that, okay, which publication you think it's really important for you or is the best publication and how, just answer it. So if you answer it in a way that I publish it in this journal because it has high impact factor, it took like 1 year for me, it was in COVID and blah blah. Anything you are just saying, it's totally wrong. Europeans, they are actually looking at publication that how it is related to sustainable development goals of UN. So better you answer it in a way, in a very crafted and tailored way. You have to work on. Still, I'm learning on few things. So you have to think it like this way. Okay. So this is all from my side. I hope I have taken how much time? Huh? 11 we started. So 12:40. Oh, okay. It was non-intentional, but I took a lot of time. Okay, anyways, this is my Google site. You can scan it and you can see my activities over there. And if you want to collaborate, you are more than welcome. So in this way, our presentation comes to its an end. Now I just open the floor for question and answer. Yeah. Yes,
Uh,
Sarah.
okay, thank you, Mr.
Assalamu
Abro,
alaikum.
Dr. Abro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay, yeah, go on. Who is
Yeah.
talking?
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for your amazing presentation and your experience to share it with us. First, please, can you explain to me or to us after RCS to Viva this time, what the I need to explain more about the steps and what you advise us. Since there is a lot of emails and steps, so can you share with us the steps and email? And for sure you have experience saying avoid this or be hairy in this. So can you just explain about this step? And second question, please, about the postdoc, what the important things, the H index and the calibration, not need to be first author, or no, you must be first author but impacted journal. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, I'll answer the questions one by one. One first question is the steps. Very first key is you have to clear RCS as soon as possible. because you never know how much it will take for external to reply back. Okay, so ideal frame to me is 2 years and 6 months, but unfortunately due to my France visit and due to my own procrastination, it took me to 2 years and 10 months. Okay, and then in the meanwhile, my supervisor was also busy, which I can understand because he has a lot of things to do in the department. So after that, you never know how much time it will take. But what are the steps? I'll tell you. After RCS, you will be asked to do corrections. Mostly they are minor in RCS, mostly. And if you have not done, it's minor when you are done with all objectives, like you claim in RCS and your supervisor is also with you in support that okay, you have done all three objectives. If your third objective is so maybe 20-30%, you need publication, you need more validation, then you get major. So major means you will have to stay like 3 months more, but mostly it is not like there is no hard time on it. You are after RCS, you need to provide the corrections. Once your corrections are done, then the program, um, what is the name of the designation? Uh, Sani, what is the designation of Brother Fami? Executive, right?
Executive.
Yeah, then
Executive.
after once you provide the corrections to the examiners, then the department executive, in our case in electrical, Dr. Sir Fami, he will actually share the Excel sheet to your supervisor. That sir, your candidate has done with RCS, so now you choose the externals. So three externals, I believe you opt. Why? I'll tell you the reason. But then supervisor, now it depends on your supervisor. Supervisor sits with you or he decide by himself that these are the three externals. So those three externals, they actually send it to your executive. Executive passed that particular form in a departmental meeting. In departmental meeting, it is approved and it will go to CGS. CGS will generate two invitation letters or three invitation letters. Now, why I suggest you to nominate three examiners, because once invitation letters are ready, executive will send your thesis and invitation letter to number one examiner and wait for his reply. For example, he replies, then no problem. If not, then he will send invitation with thesis to second second nomination. If he is not replying, and unfortunately you only nominated two people, then you have to do the entire process again. What process? You have to submit the nomination form again, then departmental meeting, then CGS meeting. So it's better you nominate three people. Okay, after nomination is done, your thesis will go to the examiner. Now if examiner agrees, then he will start reviewing. Sometimes the reviewer asks you, the external asks you to send the hard copy. So in that case, you print the hard copy in a spiral binding and ask your executive to dispatch. So he will dispatch that thing. Okay, so after that, once review comments are there, when external provide the review comments, he actually reply back to executive that okay, these are the review comments and I am available on these dates. Then it depends on executive to communicate to the uh, your supervisor to decide one date on which internal and chair is available, and then they will go for the viva. After viva, again corrections, and there are two more forms. One is thesis correction form and another is what we say, correction summary form. These two forms you will sign after viva, and one form is acknowledgement form to hand over your hardbound. So these three forms you will need to get it signed by external, internal, and chair. On thesis correction form, you need to get a signature of your supervisor. And then you submit all these forms to CGS with your hardbound. Once you submit hardbound also need to have signatures from departmental chair. If he has any correction for you, then you have to do it. Otherwise, he will just sign and you will just submit it as it is. So let me summarize the steps. RCS. After RCS, you have corrections to submit. Then your supervisor will be provided with a list of nominations by executive. He will pick some externals. I suggest three externals he will nominate. Then your Viva will happen. After Viva corrections, there are three forms to submit, and then you hand over the hard bound. Then you wait until the Senate happens. Senate happens every alternative month. I don't know what is the fashion right now, but yeah, this is the thing. I hope I have answered you all the steps. But trust me, Sarah, you have to appear as soon as possible. Otherwise, it would be, you never know how much time they're gonna take. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. What about the second question about the, okay, I will remember you, about the postdoc, is it important the H index, the
No, no, no,
calibration,
no, no, no, no.
or
It's
the
not
most
important.
important you must be
The
first author
the
or the
no,
journal?
no.
What the
The only
important
thing,
things?
the important thing is obviously they, they see your research profile, that you can publish. Okay, you can publish. Then there are like not standard criterias, but if you talk about the Europe, they actually hunt for the candidate who published in a flagship conference. Okay, so you must have at least one conference at your domain for a flagship. And the Asian side, or maybe the GCC side, they actually see all things like ranking of university. UTP is fine with the ranking. Then the publications, that how many papers you have done as a first author. H index they don't mind, but yeah, as a first author, how many publications you have done, and as a co-author, as a second or third place, you have done how many publications. So uh, at GCC and Asian countries, it really matters. In Europe and in America or in Canada, they actually see the flagship conference if you have done.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor, about your answer.
Okay. So yeah, next question is from Noor Alisa Binti Abdul Samad. She says, in regards to Erasmus program, uh what is the process of registering the program? Do you need to learn French during the, also may I know that is better in joining Erasmus program as compared to the only doing postgraduate in UTP? Okay, UTP do provide dual degree. There's one of my friend, we call her Mimi. She's from IT department. She's doing dual degree. So you maybe try to connect with her. She has to stay in France and she has to stay in UTP as well. Regarding Erasmus program, we already have some sort of joint, agreement with the French universities, and recently people also went to Bulgaria as well. So it's only the matter to discuss with the right person. The right person is my mentor, Dr. Nofal. He's the head of Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. Just go and discuss the possibilities. What do you want? You want only the mobility to go for a few months, or you just want a dual degree? Because for dual degree, and what I know is, if you have just started, it's good for you. Otherwise, it will not be a suitable option. But yeah, you get a second opinion. Discuss it in a more detailed way with Dr. Nofal, who is the head of electrical and electronic engineering department nowadays. Yeah, anyone else want to ask any question? You are free to ask any question. So if you need to stop the recording, we can do that. Anyone else? Yeah, I think we are done with the question. Thank you. No problem, Noor Alisa. I just try to, contribute myself to just share you this perception. And yeah, by the way, I think I tried my level best to summarize my journey. There is always consistent point of view, you must have a consistent point of view. If you don't have consistent point of view, things will be difficult for you. For example, if if a teacher complains to a student that the university is not increasing my salary, a student will think, oh man, our teacher is suffering a lot. Then student will go to finance department. Finance will say, okay, we don't have budget, we are facing this and this and this. So student will say, okay, finance people also are in trouble. So you have to get a consistent point of view where you want to tilt yourself. For me, when I was pursuing my PhD, I tilted towards myself towards my PhD only. I say, in during my PhD, I have to get it this as soon as possible, along with all the activities. So I used to do it, and I was fully engaged with that thing. So you also have to make this point of view a consistent point of view, what you want to do. I mean, I cannot sit alone only in my cubicle performing research and then go back. No, interacting, participating, and do some activities is, it makes you happy, makes you engage. So yeah, that is the thing. And I think Erasmus program, everyone has to avail at least a Erasmus plan, program. And during my stay, only two people went from postgraduate, me, and there was another brother of mine, Ahmad Farouki. So we were both in France, but different part of France. I was in main Paris, he was a bit far. So yeah. Anyone else who want to ask any question? If not, then thank you so much for listening my journey. And I have been waiting to share this experience. And if you have any question apart from that, I'll just give you my uh, new WhatsApp, that is +9665038093122. Yeah, this one is my office number, WhatsApp number, so you can always pursue me here. And then I just share you my email, gulam.abro@kfupm.edu.sa. Okay. Uh, Yeah. In the meanwhile, Sunny, see if anyone has any question, then it's fine. Otherwise, we can just end the presentation here and session here.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has any question, because there is no any question in the chat box, and participants are also not indicating that they want to ask question.
Okay.
So
Then it's better we go for a group photo maybe.
yes, that's the next thing. So can you please open your camera for the group photo? Then
Hey, what happened? Corona is still there, huh?
No, go. No, I'm just feeling cool, so I'm just protecting myself.
I see.
Okay.
please, can you on your camera so that we can quickly take the group photo and go?
Hey, Saidu, you are also in 23 block, huh? Saidu? Uh-huh. Good, good, good. Zubair साहब अकड़ा हाल साईं खैर लगो पियो आहे?
डॉक्टर साहब अस्सलाम वालेकुम अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह सब खैर लॻो पियो आहे ॾाढी ख़ुशी थी तव्हांजो ॿुधी करे बहितरीनु हुयो वेरी
Thank you
इंफॉर्मेटिव
so much. Thank you so much. Hey, Lukman, brother, how are you? You are still in 22? Lukman,
Yes,
I
yes,
did.
it's still in 22.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Abro, can you take the pictures?
Yes, I can take the pictures. I'm just waiting for a few more. Like Jamil is there, Victor, Noor, Alisa. Can you turn on or not? If not, then just give thumbs up. I'll understand that. Okay, you are unable to join.
Yes.
But if you are joining, then we wait for your, for you. Amina, Sarah. I think they are joining, I guess. Or Jamil, are you there? You want to join in the group photo, or it's like you are unable to do that?
I
Okay,
think
never mind.
that's,
Yeah, I think they are, cannot join. So yeah, on count of three, maybe we go for group photo. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. We are done. 1 minute, huh? Let me just save this thing. Okay, one more is like for freestyle. Okay, freestyle 1, 1, 2, and okay, 3. Done. Thank you so much, everyone who joined
you
today.
can share with us in the chat box.
Thank you, Dr. Gulam. Thank you
you
for the
very
wonderful
much.
presentation.
Thank
Yeah,
you
yeah, sure,
very
sure.
much, and the participants for taking your time to listen to the talk. We sincerely appreciate and hope we had something beneficial from this webinar. Thank you once again, Dr. Gulam, for giving us this very important information, motivations, and a lot of advice. Sincerely appreciate. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining and arranging this section. Yeah,
Thank you.
arranging this. Okay, thank you so much
Thank
once
you.
again.
Right. Thank you.
I just shared you that thing in the WhatsApp, Sunny.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I thought you will share it in the